Bev Turner has predicted Sir Keir Starmer's government is heading for another embarrassing U-turn over its controversial welfare reforms. Labour faces mounting pressure over its Universal Credit and Personal Independence Payment Bill, which would cut disability benefit payments by approximately £5 billion annually. Despite more than 130 Labour MPs now opposing the reforms, Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner insisted yesterday that Tuesday's vote would proceed as planned. Speaking about the vote on GB News, Bev said, "Are we going to see another U-turn?" Co-host Andrew Pearce simply responded, "Oh, yes." Bev said, "From Sir Keir Starmer on this welfare reform bill. How embarrassing is this going to be?" Andrew explained, "Well, it's pretty huge, because we're now looking at about 125 Labour MPs who have signed up to this motion, which actually calls for the entire thing to be paused. It's not saying cut the welfare bill by a bit less money, it just wants the whole thing rethought. It comes next week, the vote is on Tuesday, just a couple of days before Labour should be celebrating its first anniversary in power. You couldn't time it worse if you tried." Bev agreed, "No, you couldn't." Andrew said, "And yet we had the Prime Minister last week at the NATO summit talking about international issues, when this huge domestic juggernaut has been heading for number 10. And it's a really big issue. It'll be one of the biggest revolts ever for a British government. We will go ahead on Tuesday," Angela Rayner told MPs during Prime Minister's questions, whilst covering for Starmer, who was attending the NATO summit in The Hague. The rebellion represents what could become the first major defeat for Starmer's government, despite Labour's 156-seat majority won last summer. A total of 134 MPs are backing an amendment that would effectively kill the legislation, with critics arguing Labour's own impact assessment estimates that 250,000 people will be pushed into poverty as a result of the bill, including 50,000 children. The proposed changes would result in approximately 800,000 fewer people being entitled to disability benefits, affecting many who need help with basic tasks like washing or using the toilet. Conservative Shadow Chancellor Mel Stride challenged Rayner during PMQs, noting Labour backbenchers had heard that before regarding government promises, referencing last month's winter fuel payment U-turn. Defending the reforms from The Hague, Starmer insisted the current system traps people in a position where they can't get into work. "We have to reform it, and that is a Labour argument, it's a progressive argument," the Prime Minister said.